Hey folks, Dale Davidson here. Davidson Law Office has got another Family Feud story to tell you. And I say, ain't nothing better than a family feud. And a lot of these family feuds happen when you've got a patriarch or a matriarch, doesn't matter, and they own a business. Well, you've got one child working in the business and the other children are not. So how are you fair? How are you going to be fair amongst your children if majority of your wealth is in the business, but you've got only one working in the business? How do you deal with that? And so that's what we're going to discuss today. So we've got let me kind of lay the groundwork. So we've got a business, and it's a very, very successful business, a manufacturing type business. And the individual wants to be fair amongst all of his children. I mean, look, we're going to cut that pie into thirds, and I don't want anyone getting more than their fair share, period. And that's good, but how do you do that when most of the wealth is up in a corporation? And then how do you do that when one of the children, the one who's not working in the business, is, let's say, a wayward child or a mean child or I don't know how you would describe that child. But anyway, he's a problem child, okay? Likes to cause a lot of stress and strife in the family, okay? And then there's the one who works in the family business, and then there's a quiet one on the side. So what do you do? So in this case, we're trying to figure out, well, what if we put the company in some kind of trust? And maybe that would help. Well, what happens with the problem child when he is trying to interfere with the business? And we suspect he probably will. So how do you maintain control with the child who is working in the business? And so that was something we had to really work through and figure out. How do we get the child who's actually been working in the business and who has created a lot of value in the business with their work over the years? So we did that in terms with using long-term employment contract, okay, showing that if at any time in the future that child was somehow booted from the company, that the child would receive, we call it like a golden parachute payment for the balance of the employment and some other perks and things of that nature. So that would put a financial strain on the company, and so it'd be against everybody's interest to get rid of that child employee, unless that child employee has done something wrong. And then we've got some language in there that says, hey, if you're being fired for cause, then of course you're not entitled to all that. But how do we keep the problem child from requesting documents and requesting access to sensitive company matters and trade secrets and all of those things when, as a shareholder, he or she may be entitled to it? Well, shareholders are not really, under Georgia law, shareholders are entitled to financial statements, quarterly, and tax returns, but they're not entitled to go into the books and records and dig into the books and records for a fishing expedition to look for things, okay? Now, board of directors are and trustees are. So but if he's a trustee, which the parents wanted him to be a trustee, how do you avoid that? Well, you have to kind of handcuff him or her to deny access to company records if it's just like a fishing expedition, or if he's trying to harass, or if he's for any other improper purpose. And so we look at an independent person to determine if that request is valid. So there's a lot. We're having to be creative on this one to figure out, hey, what do we do to keep this company going in the future, keep the working child there as long as he or she's doing a good job, but then also safeguard the, dare I say, investment or the inheritance for all the children. So this is an ongoing saga. We're trying to get it worked out now, but it's a big. We say we got a problem child that we're having to deal with, and it's very, very difficult to deal with that. So we're looking at a trust, we're looking at a committee of trustees, we're looking at a lot of different things and trying to be creative on how we keep this company going after mom and dad are passed, then also, abide by their wishes that all of their children are treated equally. So, hey folks, thank you for tuning in today. Hey, check out this video, Avoiding Family Feuds, and that'll give you another taste of what we have to go through sometimes here. So until next time, be blessed.